That was in 1974. There have been other great sporting events, but I want to tell you, I've got goose pimples on my arms watching this event, and a lot of people in here do.
The date was June 27, 1988. Everyone in the world held their breath as the lights in the Atlantic City Convention Hall shone brightly on the clash of two undefeated champions. This wasn't any old fighting match. They called it Once and For All, a fight to settle the score between two unbeaten giants. On one side, Mike Tyson, the youngest heavyweight winner in history and the undisputed champion of the class. On the other side was Michael Spinks, a man with a 31-0 record who had been a light heavyweight champion and the lineal heavyweight winner after the fight.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, once and for all, let's get ready to rumble. 12 rounds for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world.
Even though Tyson held the WBC, WBA, and IBF titles, and Spinks held the prized crown, this wasn't just about belts. It was a fight for the highest rank. Michael Spinks wasn't just another heavyweight challenger. He was a fighter with an unparalleled resume. Spinks began the Tyson fight as an undefeated professional with a 31-0 record, including 21 knockouts. Known as one of the most cerebral boxers of his age, Spinks wasn't your typical heavyweight slugger. He was a tactician with the heart of a lion. Spinks' power and precision made his overhand right a signature weapon, called the Spinks Jinx. This punch wasn't just hype. It had laid waste to several top contenders, helping Spinks dominate the light heavyweight class before he moved up to heavyweight. His meticulous style and high fighting IQ allowed him to outpoint and outsmart opponents who were often bigger and stronger. Before his move to heavyweight, Spinks ruled the light heavyweight class with an iron fist. He was the first light heavyweight in history to win all three major world titles, WBC, WBA, and IBF, and successfully defended those belts 10 times. Spinks' control was so absolute that the Ring magazine named him Fighter of the Year in 1985, the year Spinks moved to heavyweight. When Spinks made that move, he was considered an underdog, much like most fighters moving to a higher weight class. But this was where he made his case as the worthy foe to take down Mike Tyson. His first test? The legendary Larry Holmes, who was 48-0 at the time, looking to tie Rocky Marciano's 49-0 mark. Holmes had been the heavyweight king for nearly 8 years and successfully defended his title 20 times.
It was a lot of fun. Because Larry, he was a bully.
Round two. Look at those lefts. A question. Right there, Jones was hurt, and you still have yet to go to the bell.
Most pundits thought Holmes was unbeatable. Michael Spinks, on the other hand, was going up from the light heavyweight division. Despite his dominance at 175 pounds, critics questioned whether he had the power, size, or durability to fight with a heavyweight juggernaut like Holmes. Spinks himself came into the fight weighing just 200 pounds, a mere 25 pounds over his light heavyweight frame, while Holmes tipped the scales at 221 pounds. The fight was a David versus Goliath scenario, with Holmes as the reigning king and Spinks as the undersized but determined challenger. This upset shook the boxing world. Holmes, who hadn't faced defeat in his career, was dethroned by a smaller, more tactical opponent. The fight not only cemented Spinks' place in history, but also showed his ability to overcome significant physical disadvantages through skill, intelligence, and heart. Holmes himself said of Spinks, "He's awkward, he's unorthodox, and he's smarter than most fighters in the ring." Heading into the Tyson fight, Spinks had a combined record of 13-0 against fighters who had held or would hold world titles, showing he wasn't just padding his record. He had the ring smarts, stamina, and adaptability to change mid-fight, and he knew how to win under pressure. Spinks had fought 270 competitive rounds compared to Tyson's 115. His ability to go deep into fights and stay composed made him a dangerous opponent. But Spinks wasn't a brawler. He was a chess player in the ring. His unorthodox style and protective movements frustrated even the best of opponents. He thrived under the bright lights, overcoming the chances time and time again. Many thought his ability to outthink and adapt could counter Tyson's raw aggression. Even though Spinks wasn't a natural heavyweight, his reputation as a skilled champion and mental giant made him a tough pick for Tyson. His undefeated record and ability to solve puzzles in the ring made him seem like the perfect antidote to Tyson's relentless attack. What happened that night, however, showed that there was no cure for Mike Tyson in his prime. But the boxing world knew the storm Tyson was bringing. Odds makers put Tyson as a 4-1 favorite. Some believed Spinks was walking into the lion's den, but Spinks had his own plans: dance, move, live, and conquer. Tyson, on the other hand, was a devastating force of nature. At just 21 years old, Iron Mike was up 35-0 with 31 knockouts. Opponents didn't just lose, they were destroyed. Tyson's style, the peekaboo defense mixed with devastating combinations, was revolutionizing boxing. For Spinks, this fight wasn't just about winning, it was about memory. But for Tyson, this was a message. The stress in Atlantic City was palpable. Spinks walked out first, calm but clearly uneasy. Tyson, however, entered like a caged predator, skipping the rope, dressed only in black trunks and a cut-off towel draped over his shoulders. His entry was pure intimidation. No frills, no showmanship, just menace. As the bell rang, both fighters knew the stakes.
I want to tell you, this crowd is ready for it.
But what followed wasn't a fighting match. It was a storm. In the opening moments, Spinks tried to stay mobile, circling carefully. But Tyson's pressure was instant. Like a coiled cobra, he closed the gap and landed a crushing left hook to Spinks' body. That was the first crack in Spinks' armor, a shot that clearly winded him. Spinks tried to clinch, but Tyson wouldn't let him. Every moment of Tyson screamed unfettered berserker rage. Then came the first knockdown. A thunderous right hook sent Spinks falling to one knee. He got up, his soul intact, but his body betraying him. Moments later, Tyson unleashed an uppercut that sent Spinks crashing to the ground.
Down he goes! I don't think he'll get up from this. Mike Spinks is laying flat on his back. The count is up to 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. He won't be able to do it.
This time, Spinks didn't get up. The fight was over. The clock read 91 seconds, a record-setting destruction. Tyson didn't just beat Spinks, he destroyed him. The boxing world was stunned. Spinks, a fighter who had never been knocked down in his career, was totally overwhelmed. Commentators and fans compared Tyson to a mythical force. Fighters in the heavyweight class looked on in horror, knowing Tyson was rewriting the laws of boxing physics. This wasn't just a fight, it was a coronation. Tyson cemented himself as the baddest man in the world, a force no one wanted to face. For Spinks, it was the end of his career. He never fought again.
What was your toughest fight you've had? Well, I guess the one I didn't get through well, that was with Mike Tyson. And I would consider that the tough fight because I didn't complete it. You know, I got stopped for the first time in my life. And yeah, that would have to be the first.
In retrospect, the fight symbolized the peak of Tyson's dominance. He was boxing's ultimate nightmare, ferocious, fearless, and unbeatable. 91 seconds was all it took for Tyson to etch his name into history as one of the most feared champions of all time. Tyson destroyed the myth of invincibility surrounding Spinks. For a short, blazing moment, Tyson wasn't just a man, he was a god of war, ruling over the heavyweight division with his unmatched ferocity. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to Baddest Boxers for more. Stay tuned.